By way of Western culture and education, politicians criticize one another publicly, openly, and openly, publicly, whereas traditionally they would eliminate one another secretly, silently, and silently, secretly. You're welcome to my next episode. We're going straight to page 6 of PMP of 2003, August 11 to 13. Auntie Hadiza, that was the column. Uh, parental parental strings. I'm 32 and she's 27. We've been married for 7 years and have a child. Ours was a whirlwind romance, and before I realized, she had swept me off my feet. She became pregnant, and we had a quick wedding. That was okay. Okay, Auntie, the problem is that though I have a place of my own, she's always at her parents' home. The only time we are fully together is when she comes to sleep. Our child is with her parents, and I'm frustrated with the marriage. The parents do not do anything when I complain. CC Takradi. The writer is CC Takradi, Ghana. Auntie Adiza says, this is the answer or the advice. Your wife seems to be somebody who has a lot of strings attached to the parents. Unfortunately, they also seem to be unmindful of your plight, perhaps due to their concern and love for their daughter and grandchild. Then a question mark. Then a question mark. I don't know why the question mark. Anyway, new sentence. Unless it is apparent that you have difficulties in shouldering your responsibilities as a husband, I do not see why they should hold your wife hostage. It is clear that you love your wife, and your complaint have been taken. Oh no. And your complaint has been, let me correct it, your complaint has been taken for granted, or your complaints have been taken for granted. Marriage is a shared mission, and I expect your wife and in laws to acknowledge the harm they are inflicting on the marriage. My suggestion is that take your case to your pastor or an elderly relative, but do handle it as a plea and not a complaint for now. Well, so I think the answer is okay. Okay. Senior maid. Senior maid. I am 14 and I've been sent to Accra as a maid servant or house help as the NGOs classify as these days. Maid servant or house help as the NGOs classify as these days. Okay. I'm generally happy she because the family treats me well. I'm generally happy because the family treats me well. Auntie, the problem is my immediate boss, whom I shall call the senior maid or house help. She's about 40 and divorced. She picks on me and is always complaining about whatever I do. What I do not like most is that she has a lover who visits her late in the night, and she sent me out because we sleep in the same room. There are problems in the world. Should I complain to my mistress? The writer is Asantua, Accra, Ghana. Okay. Auntie Adiza says, this is the advice following. This is a clear situation of the lady using her position to suppress your interests. What's most unfair is for her to throw you out and deny you sleep, all because of the lover. What she's doing to you is without an approval of the mistress, and she needs to stop or has to be stopped. Mm. Though she's your senior, she needs to set a good example. Her complaints about you could be an orchestrated attempt to get the mistress to send you away. What you need to do is what you need to do is to do your work well for your mistress. My advice is that if she persists in her behavior, then complain to the mistress that your type of work demands a good night's sleep. Okay. Next problem or next challenge, if you like. Trouble with that. I am 15 and I find myself in a family where there is confusion from day to day. I completed GSS and have to be in the SSS in September. This confusion arises because our dad always finds trouble with whatever we do. Auntie, my father has refused to care for us, with the exception of a brother who is now in SSS. The Constitution says that parents should care for their children. So, can I sue my father? Okay. The writer is who? Sylvester, Volta region, Ghana. Okay. Auntie Jesus says, from all that you say, there was no mention of your mother. So does it mean your parents are divorced? If they are, then it could be that your father is still angry at whatever caused the breakup. If your mother is at home, then it will be important to consider if your father has trouble with her too. What you have to take note is what you have to take note is that okay, let me correct it. What you have to take note of is that there should be a clear distinction between refused and inability to pay. If your father has the ability to pay but is refusing to do so, then his behavior could be could be deemed as going against the law that enjoins parents to care for their children. Though it is your father's responsibility to care for you, my advice is that do not take it upon yourself to sue, that's to go to court. The reason is that if it could create, the reason is that it could create more problems for you. Rather, discuss the issue with your school authorities so that they can approach your father on your behalf. Next problem, mother's opinion. Both of us are 25 and I've been in a relationship for 7 years. I love her and I know she also loves me very much. I have completed the polytechnic and not working at the moment. This lady assists me in various ways, knowing that I am going to marry her. The problem is that my mother does not seem to agree with this relationship and has warned that I should not sleep at her funeral if this lady is the one I prefer. Hey, very strong wording, a very strong position. Okay, Auntie, she is the one I prefer, and my father likes her too. My mother's only reason is that her educational background is poor. Hmm. Okay, who is the writer? E.A. E.A. The only initials E.A. Swan Lake, Accra, Ghana. Okay. Auntie Adiza says, I thought that your mother's concerns are not justifiable because with her level of education She's supporting you. She's supporting you. Mothers do not always have some tricks. Mothers, mothers do always have some tricks up their sleeves. And look at how mothers is spelled with apostrophe S. So we have to remove the S. Mothers do always have some tricks up their sleeves. And it could be that the real reason might not be in her educational background, yes. However, I can say that since your father likes the lady, he is already encouraging you to live up to your responsibilities. At this, at this stage, you need to be cautious about the things you take from the lady because she is doing so with the intention of assisting her future husband. My advice is that meet both your mother and father together and assure your mother about assisting the lady improve her education. That if that's if that's the genuine reason for her dislike of your wife. Okay, we go to the next story. Engagement surprise. Engagement surprise. Auntie, I do not know if my problem would shock you to the bone, but I hope it does. I was engaged recently by my boyfriend, and though it was a grand affair, something very shocking happened. The problem is that I traveled from Accra to my hometown with my bosom friend for my engagement. After the ceremony, I was looking for my friend and walked into the room where we were staying. I was greeted with the sight of my bosom friend in a kiss with my fiancée. Oh my God. I was shocked and nearly shouted, but I restrained myself. None of us has mentioned it. But what do you think? Hmm, problems. My friend Nate will say, problems. Okay, let's see. And the writer is who? Ruby Dansoma Accra. Let's see, Ruby is a female name. Okay. Auntie Adisa says, though it was an unexpected engagement surprise, I am surprised that up to now, none of you has asked any question. If any questions are to be asked, then it is you who should have questions for your friends and your husband. I think they may have been at it longer than you found out. I'm asking you to confront the man in the center to know if it was the excitement of the occasion that induced the kissing. My advice is that dig deep as the two could understand whatever happiness you may have in the future. As the two could as the two could undermine whatever happiness you may have in the future. Next problem, crossroads. Oh my God. Crossroads. Okay. I'm 20 and work with a private timber company as a secretary. I'm planning to go to school again next year. I was in a relationship but broke up because the guy was not faithful to me. Despite the dubious ways, I remained faithful to him. I'm now in a new relationship and I have a problem even though my new guy is loving and caring. Auntie, it is now difficult for me to be faithful as I am about to accept a love proposal from a long-time friend. Aha. Apart from this, I am dating two white guys. Abba. Hmm? Are they the ones dating you or you are dating them? Okay. Apart from this, I'm dating two white guys. Do you think I should go back to my ex-boyfriend so that I can stop such bad behavior? Love. Love D. Second D. So the writer is Love D. Second D. I love that. Love D. Second D. Okay. Ghana. Second D. Ghana. Okay. Auntie Aziza says, What you are doing now is only a negative way of punishing the guy you broke up with. Psychologically, he is the one you are really in love with, and your actions are simply to draw his attention to your predicament of losing him. You are extremely angry, and in your anger, you are destroying yourself and perhaps bringing shame to your family. You have to be extremely careful because it seems you are being reckless in your actions. The truth is that the truth is that you are not in love with your current boyfriend and your ex-boyfriend is not in love with you. Yes, the two white guys are unfortunate. The two white guys are unfortunate happenings in your life. My advice is that call it truce. But my advice is that call a truce in your own life by offloading all these unnecessary men in your life. Going back to your ex will be very wrong and unnecessary. So, where does she go? Viewers, we will stop here. And next time we come, we're going to, we should have gone to page 7, but page 7 we've done already. We took it, we continued it from the previous paper. That's the paper ending August 10th. So page 7 is taken care of already. So hopefully we shall rather go to page 8, the entrepreneur, something that I've not been reading, but I've started reading. So next time we meet, we shall go to page 8, which talks about business, the entrepreneur, how to reach silent, how to be silent, lost my vim. Our business expert solves all business related problems. Then, stress buster, time to delegate. Constantly overruled by my boss. I don't feel ready for this promotion. Constantly overruled by my boss. Looks like it's a repeated story. Anyway, we shall break here to our next episode and we shall start with page 8. Thank you very, very much, viewers. Till we meet again. Bye bye.